Footage showed the Northern Hemisphere's largest volcano erupting after a powerful earthquake on Wednesday. According to Associated Press, one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded sent a tsunami crashing into a Russian port and smaller waves barreling across the Pacific to the Americas and south to New Zealand. The danger had largely passed more than a day after the 8.8 magnitude quake, which was centered off the coast of the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia's far east. No major damage was reported and tsunami warnings were cancelled in most areas. Dubbed the Land of Fire and Ice, Kamchatka is one of the most active volcanic regions on Earth. It has about 300 volcanoes, with 29 of them still active, according to NASA's Earth Observatory. Quakes and tsunamis regularly strike the peninsula that lies close to an ocean trench where two tectonic plates meet. The 1,200-kilometer-long peninsula 9 time zones east of Moscow faces the Pacific Ocean on its east and the Sea of Okhotsk along its west coast. Kamchatka and a few nearby islands have a population of about 290,000, with about 162,000 of them living in the regional capital of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky in Avacha Bay on the peninsula's southeast. The tallest volcano is Klyuchevskaya Sopka, the largest active volcano in the Northern Hemisphere. Observers heard explosions and saw streams of lava on its western slopes, according to the Kamchatka branch of the Russian Academy of Sciences Geophysical Service. Scientists have anticipated the eruption for some time, with the volcano's crater filling with lava for weeks and the mountain emitting plumes of ash. Shortly after the 8.8 magnitude quake, which became the strongest in the region since 1952, Klyuchevskoi burst out with lava. It last erupted in 2023.
Ukrainian drones attack strategically important objects on the territory of the aggressor country Russia almost daily. This has caused a wave of panic among Russian propagandists who fear riots. In particular, one of the anti-war Telegram channels published a video from a Russian program during which propagandist Margarita Simonyan stated that Ukrainian attacks are causing collapse at Russian airports. Ukrainians are trying to create a riot here. Why are they causing a collapse in our airports at the height of the holiday season? Why did they launch? I don't even know how many drones this week, but a huge number. Why is all this being done? What kind of military tactics is this? She said. What is interesting is that after some time, Simonyan herself gave herself an answer to the above questions. She suggested that the Ukrainian regime wants to destabilize Russian society in such a way that it becomes politicized in the other direction. Recently, the Security Service of Ukraine used long-range drones to strike the production facilities of the Stavropol radio plant Signal in Russia. As is known, this enterprise specializes in production of electronic warfare systems, radar, radio navigation equipment, and remote control equipment, which are important components for the military-industrial complex of the aggressor country, Russia. On the night of July the 29th, the city of Salsk in the Rostov region of the Russian Federation was attacked by drones. A series of explosions thundered around 2 o'clock in the morning. A large-scale fire broke out near an important railway junction. Let us note that Salsk is an important railway junction in the Rostov region of the Russian Federation. The Russian armed forces use railway lines to transport weapons and personnel to the front through the settlement. Earlier, there was also a loud noise in the Volgograd region of the aggressor country, Russia. Locals complained about a drone attack that caused a fire at a strategic facility. Interestingly, although the Russians do not confirm the fact that the oil depot in the Volgograd region was hit, the scale of the fire in the photo suggests the target was a fuel or logistics hub that is critical for military needs. Russian ruler Vladimir Putin is blackmailing all of Europe by keeping the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant under his control, Forbes reports. This warning comes from British expert Simon Bennett of the University of Leicester, author of The Atomic Blackmail, The Weaponizing of Nuclear Facilities During the Russia-Ukraine War book. When Russia launched its full-scale war against Ukraine, one of the first things it did was the occupation of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It was liberated in 2022. However, Moscow troops targeted it with drones, damaging the protection over the plant. The Kremlin also captured the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe. The station has enough capacity to cover the annual electricity needs of countries like Ireland, Slovakia, or Finland. According to Bennett, Russian occupiers could rig the Zaporizhia plant with explosives and, if Putin is defeated, remotely detonate its 6 reactors. This would create radioactive fallout clouds that would quickly spread across Europe, as demonstrated by the 1986 Chernobyl meltdown and radionuclide release. Plumes of radioactive debris can travel many hundreds of miles, he told the journalists. He recalls that radiation then reached as far as England, contaminating agricultural lands. Moreover, Kremlin control over the plant poses a threat to Russia itself. Should any of Ukraine's nuclear power plants be hit, even the plants in the far west of the country, there is a real possibility that if there was a persistent westerly wind, the plume would reach Russia's heartlands. Bennett warns. The expert also cautions that Russia's military operations around nuclear plants may foreshadow tactics in a future war with NATO. He notes that the Kremlin might deploy sleeper agents to undermine Western infrastructure. These are spies with fake documents already embedded in the critical infrastructure of Western countries. I think it is likely that Russia has in place sleepers across any state it considers hostile, which, of course, would include NATO member states, Bennett concludes. Earlier, Euromaidan Press wrote that Russian ruler Vladimir Putin shows no intention of abandoning his objectives in Ukraine or ending the war. Even under the threat of new sanctions, he appears ready to go to extremes to achieve victory.